So this is a really awesome carbohydrate that I made with our gerookte kaasvors to accompany the perfect South African salad. But while I'm making it, I'm going to tell you a story about a South African named Bok. Bok decided it was time to travel the world. So off he set. The first destination that Bok visited was Wales. Rainy, chilly, and full of people who pronounce words using at least 37 extra consonants. One night in a warm pub, a Welshman approached him, pint in hand, eyebrow raised, said, "Oi, I've heard you Sapphists don't eat salads. Is that true?" Bok, who's a cool, calm and collected man and wears the type of confidence only a man who knows where his braai tongs are would have, took a slow sip of his beer, looked at a Welshman and said, "My bro, here's 73 reasons why we don't eat salads." And with that, Bok finished his beer and strolled out like a man who just won a test at Loftus. The next stop for Bok was Ireland, Dublin to be precise. The land of pints, ballads, and people who take rugby almost as seriously as South Africans. In a lively bar, an Irishman leaned over and said, "Tell me something, lad. How do ye blokes play so hard when you eat nothing but meat like?" Bok just gave him a smile. Not smug, just confident, and he said, "My guy, here's 24 reasons why a lacquer plate of meat always beats a salad." The whole Irish bar fell silent. The men pouring Guinness stopped mid-pour, and somewhere in the distance you could hear someone crying. Bok simply tipped his head and continued his journey. The third stop for Bok was France, and the French welcomed Bok with berets, baguettes, and really bold opinions. At a cafe in Paris, a Frenchman gestured at Bok's plates of steak and said, "You South Africans, jamais salad. How do you survive?" Bok wiped his mouth with the confidence of a man who's known Nelson Mandela his whole life, and he said, "My friend, here's 32 reasons why your question answers itself." The Frenchman blinked, and the Eiffel Tower flickered. Bok simply paid his bill and headed for the airport. Final stop for Bok was New Zealand, the land of sheep, haka, and the only nation that cries harder than South Africans when they lose at rugby. At a small town pub, a Kiwi clapped him on the back and said, "Bro, do you even know what a salad is?" Bok chuckled. Calm, gentle, and a little bit dangerous. He said, "Buddy, here's 43 reasons why you should never ask a South African that question again." The Kiwi simply nodded respectfully because he understood. Everyone understands eventually. After his little international tour, the world stood together and finally asked him one question in unison. "Bok, but truly, why don't South Africans eat salads?" As calm as he is, Bok put his hands behind his back, looked at them squarely in the eyes and replied, "Because salads don't win scrums. And if you need convincing, I've got 4 more reasons." So anyway, check out the braai bun that I made with the gerookte kaasvors. How epic.